Dear learners, on behalf of Indira Gandhi National Open University, we welcome you for this video lecture session. Today's topic is availability and irreversibility. This is the 19th module of the course Thermodynamics and its application. I am Shubhashish Maji, professor in School of Engineering and Technology of Indira Gandhi National Open University. So let us begin our discussion. After listening to this video lecture, you will be able to understand available and unavailable energy. You will be able to explain entropy, and you will also be able to solve the numerical related to available and unavailable energy. Consider a heat transfer of magnitude Q1 from a given high temperature reservoir at T1 K to a given heat engine. The magnitude of work produced by the heat depends upon T2, the temperature of the low temperature reservoir to which the engine rejects heat, and the nature of the engine, whether it is reversible and irreversible. The work produced increases with the decrease in temperature T2. The naturally available lowest temperature is the temperature of the surroundings at any place, say T0. Thus, an engine rejecting heat to the surroundings at T0 gives maximum work. Also, of all engines operating between T1 and T0, the reversible engine gives maximum work for a given Q1. In our last lecture session, we had discussed in detail about reversible and irreversible processes, and now we will see how we can get the maximum work for an reversible heat engine. Thus, only a reversible engine operating between T1 and temperature of the given high temperature reservoirs and T0, the temperature of the surroundings, can convert the heat transfer to it to the maximum work, that is W max. Under these conditions, while W max is called the available energy of Q1, Q2 is the heat rejected to the surroundings at T0 is called the unavailable energy of Q1. So, what is unavailable energy? You are getting the maximum work, that is W max, out of the total heat available at the beginning, that is Q1. So, Q1 minus W max is the unavailable energy. This nomenclature is quite logical and meaningful, as W max, the maximum work realized, is the useful part of Q1, while Q0, the heat rejected to the surrounding, is lost forever and hence is the useless part of Q1. The unavailable energy is also equal to Q1 minus W max. It can now be generalized and stated as follows. Energy from any given high temperature reservoir is made up of two parts, namely available energy, that is useful energy, and the unavailable energy, that is useless part. Available energy is that part of the energy which can be converted to work by a reversible engine operating between the given high temperature reservoir and the low temperature reservoir at the surrounding temperature. Unavailable energy is the energy rejected to the surroundings by this reversible heat engine. Referring to the figure 1, which shows the schematic and TS diagram of a reversible engine operating between T1 and T0. Here the maximum temperature is T1, that is the temperature of the high temperature source, and Q1 is the heat received from the high temperature source for the reversible engine, and W max is the maximum work possible by the reversible heat engine. For this, T0 is the temperature of the sink, that is Q0 is the heat rejected to the sink at temperature T0. Now this is the TS diagram, that is temperature entropy diagram for the whole process, and now let us see what we get for this engine with respect to the output as well as efficiency. Now available energy of Q1, that is W max, that is equal to Q1 into efficiency, that is eta max. So efficiency of a reversible heat engine, that we know that efficiency is equal to 1 minus T0 by T1, where T0 is the temperature of the sink and T1 is the temperature of the source. So that is nothing but area of the cycle A, B, C, D, A on TS diagram. Unavailable energy of Q1, that is equal to Q0, that is heat rejected to the sink, is equal to Q1 minus W max, is equal to area CDEFC on TS diagram, that is T0 into delta S1, that is delta S1 is the change in entropy for this case. So where delta S equal to increase in entropy of the surroundings, which in magnitude is also equal to the decrease in entropy of the high temperature reservoirs, which is evident from the TS diagram. As a first example, suppose Q1 is equal to 100 kilojoule, T1 temperature is 1000 Kelvin and T0 is equal to 300 Kelvin. Now for this particular case, we can also calculate the Carnot efficiency, that is equal to 1 minus T0 by T1. So from here we can easily calculate for this, and we can also calculate the available energy of 100 kilojoule, that is 100 multiplied by the efficiency of the engine for the reversible case, and that comes out to be 70 kilojoule. So out of total energy input for this system, that is 100 kilojoule, now available energy of 100 kilojoule is 70 kilojoule. So unavailable energy of 100 kilojoule is equal to 100 minus 70, that is 30 kilojoule. That gives in the area, that is CDEFC. Now see, total energy input was 100 kilojoule. Out of that 70 kilojoule is available energy and unavailable energy is 30 kilojoule. So 30 plus 70 is 100, that is the total energy available at the start of the process. As a second example, let T1 is equal to 600 Kelvin and Q1 equal to 100 kilojoule and T0 equal to 300 Kelvin, same as in the previous example. In this case, as shown in figure 2, the available energy of 100 kilojoule is equal to 100 into efficiency of this system, that comes out to be 50 kilojoule, and the unavailable energy is Q1 minus W max, that is equal to 50 kilojoule. But for this case, the available energy is 50 kilojoule and unavailable energy is 50 kilojoule, but initially the energy input was 100 kilojoule. So that the unavailable energy can be expressed in the Hartree area NO PQN in the figure, that is T naught multiplied by del S2, whereas del S2 is the increase in entropy of the surroundings. Now this diagram depicts the picture for the case which I have just now discussed. So T1 is the temperature of the source, is 100 Kelvin. Q1 is the heat input to the engine for producing work, that is 100 kilojoule, and W max, in this case we are getting 50 kilojoule, and the heat rejected to the sink is 50 kilojoule, that is equal to Q naught, and here the T2 temperature is 300 Kelvin, and the process is depicted in the temperature entropy diagram. So this figure is available energy as a function of temperature. Now in the previous case, the temperature of the source was 1000 Kelvin, but that time we have got the available energy was 70 kilojoule and unavailable energy was 30 kilojoule. But in this case, the temperature of the source is 600 Kelvin, but the heat input to the engine is same, that is 100 kilojoule. But here we are getting available energy only 50 kilojoule because the source temperature is 600 Kelvin, whereas the source temperature in the previous case was 1000 Kelvin. But for both cases, the temperature of the sink was 300 Kelvin. It is worth noting from these two examples that while the available energy of 100 kilojoule from the reservoir at 1000 Kelvin is 70 kilojoule, the available energy of the same 100 kilojoule from a reservoir at a lower temperature of 600 Kelvin is only 50 kilojoule. As the temperature of the high temperature reservoir decreases, the available part of the energy supplied by it also gets decreased. It is for this reason that the energy at a higher temperature is said to be more valuable than the same magnitude of energy at a lower temperature. Let us now consider a third example. Let 100 kilojoule of heat be transferred from the reservoir at 1000 Kelvin to a reversible engine through an intermediate reservoir at 600 Kelvin as represented by the schematic and TS diagram in figure 3. Let us look at the figure 3 and let us see the process is. Now in this diagram you see that initially the heat Q1 100 kilojoule is from the high temperature reservoir whose temperature was 1000 Kelvin. Now it is supplied to the low temperature reservoir, that is 600 Kelvin. Obviously the previous temperature, that is 1000 Kelvin, was more than this temperature 600 Kelvin for the second reservoir. Now from the second reservoir we are getting Q1, that is 100 kilojoule, and it is coming into the engine as an input, and here we are getting W max is 50 kilojoule because the sink temperature is 300 Kelvin, and this engine process actually operating between the high temperature, that is 600 Kelvin and the low temperature, that is 300 Kelvin. So the W max, that is the maximum work we can get, is 50 kilojoules. So available energy for this case is 50 kilojoule and unavailable energy is 50 kilojoule. So available energy plus unavailable energy is the net energy. It was available as an input for the engine, that is Q1 is equal to 100 kilojoule. Now this is the TS diagram. For this we have shown the temperature as 1000 Kelvin, then 600 Kelvin and 300 Kelvin on the vertical axis, which represents the temperature, and in the horizontal directions represents the entropy, and there is a change in entropy del S1 and del S2 that is being depicted in the diagram. So the figure 3 is for available and unavailable energy. Although the input to the engine is from the reservoir at 1000 Kelvin, the engine is operating between the reservoirs at 600 Kelvin and 300 Kelvin. Hence, the work output of the engine is equal to 100 into efficiency of the engine, that is equal to 50 kilojoule, which is equal to that in example 2 and not 70 kilojoule as in example 1. This reduction is because the 100 kilojoule from 100 Kelvin is first transferred to another reservoir at 600 Kelvin before it is transferred to the engine. The heat transfer between the two reservoirs at 1000 Kelvin and 600 Kelvin is irreversible. This irreversibility reflects in the decrease in the available energy by 70 minus 50 is equal to 20 kilojoule. This reduction manifests itself in the increase of unavailable energy by the same extent of 20 kilojoule. It can thus be stated that irreversibility due to heat transfer with finite temperature difference always increases the unavailable energy. An important relation between the increase in unavailable energy and entropy can now be deduced in the TS diagram of figure 3. The unavailable energy in the absence of the intermediate reservoir according to example 1 is equal to 30 kilojoule, which is represented by the single hatchet area CDEFC in the figure. Also the same area shown in figure 1. Because of the introduction of the intermediate reservoir, the unavailable energy according to example 2 has increased to 50 kilojoule as represented by the area NOPQN, same area shown separately in figure 2 and 3. It can be seen from the TS diagram in figure 3 that this area NOPQN is equal to the sum of the single hashed area CDEFC and the double hashed area NCFQN in figure 3. Thus, the increase in unavailable energy is equal to the latent area, which is given by T0 within bracket del S2 minus del S1 is equal to T0 multiplied by del S net, where del S net is equal to entropy increased of the universe due to irreversibility in the problem. With reference to the schematic and TS diagram of figure 3, entropy increases of the universe. Now let us see how we can get the expressions for the net change in entropy. Del S net is equal to del S reservoir at 1000 Kelvin plus del S reservoir at 600 Kelvin plus del S of engine plus change in entropy for low temperature reservoir. Now available energy of 100 kilojoule. How we can calculate? First, let us calculate the net change in entropy. That comes out to be minus 100 by 1000 plus within bracket 100 by 600 minus 100 by 600 plus change in entropy for the engine plus change in entropy for the low temperature reservoir. The first term is negative because that is the heat loss from the surroundings or universe, and second one is the change in entropy at 600 Kelvin reservoir, and 0 is the change in entropy for the engine because it is a reversible engine, and for the last one is change in entropy of the low temperature reservoir. So if you calculate, you will get the change in entropy net equal to 0.0667. Now increase in unavailable energy is equal to T naught into del S, that is equal to 300 into the change in entropy. So it comes out to be 20 kilojoule. So you can also otherwise calculate the change in unavailable energy with this formula. The above example and the analysis therein have a great practical importance. High temperature reservoirs are realized in practice by burning fuel, fossil or nuclear. The heat transferred from the burning fuel is used to run a heat engine. During the heat addition process, the substance that undergoes the cycle is usually at a temperature lower than the reservoir temperature. This is a necessity for the following two reasons. Number one, in the absence of such temperature difference, the heat transfer rates are small and thus the power from the engine is bound to be very small, being of no practical use. Number two, if the substance were to be at the same temperature as that of the high temperature during the heat addition process, at such high temperatures the materials are bound to melt and damage the engine. Hence, although the reservoirs that supplies energy can be at any high temperature similar to 1000 Kelvin in the above example, the heat addition to the heat engine occurs at a low temperature similar to 600 Kelvin in the above examples. As a ready example, the learner can easily recall here that the water in a steam power plant boils at a low temperature in the boiler, although the furnace where the fuel is burned is at a very high temperature. The concept of available and unavailable energies are not restricted to heat transfers from reservoirs constant temperature system alone. It is general and can also be used for energies from finite systems whose temperatures may be decreased with the supply of heat. In such a case, it is not possible to imagine a single externally reversible engine that can take the heat from the system reversibly at a fixed temperature. Now let us very quickly discuss a very interesting problem which is shown in figure 4. A reversible engine is operating having heat interactions with three reservoirs at temperature T1 500 Kelvin, at temperature T2 300 Kelvin and at temperature T3 equal to 250 Kelvin. When Q1, the heat transfer to the heat engine from T1 is 500 kilojoule, the work output of the engine is reported to be 175 kilojoule. Find the magnitude and directions of Q2 and Q3. Let us see the diagram first. So this is the diagram for exercise 1. So here there are three high temperature reservoirs. One is T1, that is equal to 500 Kelvin, and T2 is given as 300 Kelvin, and T3 is 250 Kelvin, and Q1 is the heat coming from the first reservoir, that is 500 kilojoule, and this is the engine which producing work, that is 175 kilojoule. Now let us see how we can get the magnitude of heat Q2 and Q3 and the directions for this particular problem. First of all, we will see how we can use the conservation of energy principle for this case, and how we can use the second law of thermodynamics for this particular case. As we already know, the heat engine is a system operating in a thermodynamic cycle. Therefore, from first law of thermodynamics for a cyclic process, we know that summation of Q is equal to summation of W. We can write Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 is equal to summation of W. That comes out to be 500 plus Q2 plus Q3 is equal to 175. So Q2 plus Q3 is equal to minus 325. So here the two unknown are Q2 and Q3. That comes out to be equal to minus 325. This is the first equation, but we must get another equation so that we can calculate the magnitude of Q2 and Q3. Now, since the engine is reversible, so Q1 by T1 plus Q2 by T2 plus Q3 by T3 is equal to 0, because for a reversible process change in entropy is 0. So Q1 is given as 500 and T1 is given 500 plus Q2, T2 is given 300, T3 is given 250. So 500 by 500 plus Q2 by 300 plus Q3 by 250 is 0. So we have got two equations and there are two unknowns, so we can very easily solve. If you solve these two equations, you will get Q2 is equal to minus 450 kilojoule and Q3 is equal to 125 kilojoule. While 450 kilojoule is rejected by the engine to the reservoir at 300 Kelvin and 125 is transferred to the engine from the reservoir at 250 Kelvin. So this is the final solutions for this particular problem. Let us summarize our discussions very quickly. We have discussed available and unavailable energy, and we have discussed the concept of entropy for reversible process and irreversible processes, and finally we have solved the numerical related to available and unavailable energy. Thank you very much for today's discussions.